Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's podcast. As always, I'm Nicholas. I'm joined by Hot for Teacher Jeremy.
Wow.
And, about to jump off the ledge, Justin.
Oh yeah,
What else
that
is
sounds,
new?
that sounds bad. Couldn't be like under the weather. No, jumping off the ledge.
Under the weather, the Packers lost.
Seen it coming.
The
It was tough.
worst defensive performance they've had since week 1. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
officiating sucked.
I didn't see any of the game, so I couldn't tell you. I mean, I went and saw the Eternals.
Hmm.
So my spoiler-free review is it's the closest thing Marvel's done to a DC movie yet.
That doesn't sound like a good review.
It is the review that you're getting.
All right.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, that's all you get.
It's probably still more enjoyable than a DC movie, but it is much closer to the DC movie than Marvel's ever done. And take that for what it is. I mean, some people might be like, this is the greatest thing ever, but yeah, it was I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
All right.
So yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I was out doing that. Okay, here we go. Well, all right, let's try to get ourselves in a better mood here. All right, we'll start with let's talk about a new video game.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Now you got my attention.
Okay. So we'll skip over to these notes over here. It is a game called Multiverses.
Okay.
It is a fighting game. It seems to be that Warner Brothers has something to do with it, but the roster so far, the roster that's been announced, it's Adventure Time. It's Finn and Jake the dog.
All right.
DC, you've got Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Harley Quinn.
Wow.
Game of Thrones with Arya Stark.
What?
Looney Tunes has got Bugs. Scooby-Doo has got Shaggy. Something called the Steven Universe. I don't know. Are either of you aware of what Steven Universe is?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I'm aware of it. I've never really watched it, but I definitely know about it.
Some Steven and Garnett are off of that. Tom and Jerry have given us both Tom and Jerry.
Wow.
And then there's an original character named Rain Dog. That's your opening day roster. Now, to make this, so this is a pretty crazy game to begin with. Here's the crazier part. It's going to be free.
Wow, that's cool.
And if I understood the trailer correctly, cross-platform.
Nice.
So I'm assuming they didn't say it. They didn't come out and say it. But I'm assuming that means there's going to be a ton of microtransactions. Like, oh, you want this cooler skin? That'll be $5. You know, or you know, something like that. But I mean, but yeah, so I was doing a bunch of research and reading on it last night. Rumors are that Gandalf, Rick and Morty, and LeBron will all be DLC characters later on.
All right. Interesting.
Okay.
But basically, since it's a Warner Brothers game, and the level of which characters they can pull from is pretty crazy.
Mhm.
It's a lot of HBO stuff. It's a lot of DC, Lord of the Rings, and a lot of Cartoon Network.
Right. So they could go really crazy with this.
Yeah, this game could get nuts. It sounds like it could be fun. I mean, it's free, so I mean, I'll download it, I'll play it, and if it sucks, I'll delete it. No skin off my teeth. But
Right.
yeah, or if it's like when Nintendo was like, we're putting Mario Brothers out or some Mario game on the phone, and it's going to be super cool, and it's free. And then it was just like the first 3 levels.
Classic.
And then you want to play anything past the 3rd level? Yeah, $15.99.
Mhm.
Oh, okay, delete.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with cross-platform, it might be pretty cool.
But yeah,
Mhm.
so that means that those people who refuse to play Xbox, looking at you, Justin,
I don't refuse. I just don't do it.
the 3 of us can actually play against each other.
Or those who refuse to play PlayStation.
Well, I don't own a PlayStation. You happen to own both.
Oh, I don't own a newer Xbox.
Don't you have an Xbox One?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Gotta check my storage full of consoles.
I gotta go through the inventory.
Look at Mr. Moneybags down here.
Yeah.
Owns so many video game consoles, he doesn't know what he has.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Jeez, Daddy Warbucks.
Well, I really like the art style of this video game. That was a good call to do it that way, to bring all these characters together and not make it too weird looking.
Yeah. And like they didn't just like, I mean, even though it's going to be free, they didn't cheap out on it. Kevin Conroy's doing Batman.
Nice.
Maisie Williams is actually doing Arya Stark. What is it? John LaMarche or Don LaMarche, whoever does the voices for Adventure Time.
Okay, yeah.
Maurice LaMarche is actually doing the voices. Like the actual people are doing it. They didn't just hire somebody who kind of sounds like it.
Right. That's awesome.
So
cool.
I mean, I would have expected that to cost some money. Although what's kind of crazier about it is that they just released like that Nickelodeon like fighting game.
Oh, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, well, apparently no one will. Because basically, like all the stuff that would, a lot of the things that would have been on that one are now going to be showing up over on this one. But I mean, they said that. I mean, I watched the trailer / commercial for it, and the creator was like, we really love Super Smash Brothers, and we wanted our own version of that. So,
right on.
Yeah.
Super Smash Brothers. A couple times I've played that over at friend's house. That is a lot of fun. I mean,
yeah, I've always enjoyed that one.
I don't have a Switch, and I'm pretty sure I couldn't use my Wii if I wanted to. I think I broke the sensor bar in the move. So,
might be time for an upgrade.
Oh, or I'll just deal with having one system and be fine with it.
It's amateur hour.
All right. Well, okay. So we got that video game that seemed like it'd be a lot of fun.
I think we'd all give it a try. See how it is.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Have you heard of this horror movie called Titan or Titan?
No.
Okay. Titane. They premiered at Cannes or some foreign film. I think it's a foreign movie. I watched the trailer. It looks pretty weird. But they're claiming that 13 people fainted during the premiere, and some people had panic attacks.
Oh my God.
At a premiere in Sydney, and it's like, man, I have not heard that claim out of a horror movie in a long time. But I remember when that used to be like I feel like it was in the 80s, but even like before my time, when they were like, this movie is so disgusting. People were throwing up in the theater. Like, this movie is so disturbing. Somebody literally had a heart attack and died in the theater. So
Interesting.
Yeah. Have you ever been so panicked by a movie that you had to like step away?
I mean, does not wanting to see Grease in the worst possible way count?
Sure, I'll take it.
So
I'll
much
count
that
that.
you were like, oh, I just remembered I gotta be anywhere other than here and left your friend's house.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I mean,
I've never been on that list.
oh wait, we were watching what tonight? Oh, I just remembered. I'm gonna go home and not do that.
The dog just called. I gotta go let her out.
You don't even have a dog. That's why I gotta go figure this out.
Yeah. It's even more crazy. There's a dog in my house.
Okay. So I mean, basically, I mean, there's very little chance that 13 people actually fainted watching this movie. Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, it's not streaming anywhere that I could see either for free. You have to pay for it. So everything looks like it's about $7.
Wow.
Not sure I'd spend the money on it.
No, I'm gonna give it a hard pass.
Yeah, if it was free, I might be like, all right, let's turn this on.
Well, yeah, I mean, when it eventually shows up on Netflix or Hulu or one of these streaming services, I'll watch it just to be like, yep, exactly what I thought it was.
I haven't fainted in a while. Let's turn this on.
So that podcast that I like to listen to, Last Podcast on the Left, a couple years ago, did a really extensive series on the Jonestown Massacre, which should be like required listening in schools. Jim Jones, the cult leader who killed, I don't even remember how many people at this point down in Guyana. It's a terrible story, but it's fascinating to learn how somebody can go from a door-to-door monkey salesman in Cleveland to a mass murdering cult leader in Guyana. However, I bring it up because Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be playing Jim Jones in a Jonestown Massacre movie. So I'm sure that will bringing a lot more eyes and ears to that story. Actually, oddly enough, one of the senators who went down there, because it's one of those things that people talk about. You know, that's where we got the phrase "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," even though it wasn't Kool-Aid, it was Flavor Aid. Because Flavor Aid might be the number 2 powdered drink mix in the market, but apparently they've got better PR than Kool-Aid does. They've got everybody saying, "Don't drink the Kool-Aid," when they're just like, "Just keep."
Wasn't us. It wasn't that guy.
There were a few senators who went down there because there, almost everybody who died and were murdered were American citizens. So a couple U.S. senators went down there, and Jim Jones was so drugged out and paranoid that he sent his death squad to go murder the senators before they could get back on the plane and fly away. I believe they successfully did kill one of them, but the other ones were injured. Oddly enough, in some sort of weird synchronicity, when they're announcing they're about to do this movie, the one senator who was still serving as senator from, I think, Texas, who was down there and was shot but lived, just announced her retirement. So bizarre, kind of like how everything kind of just circles back around in on itself.
Yeah, the timing is very coincidental on that one.
Like, oh, we're gonna do a movie. I retire. Like,
I'm out.
I don't. So, so there's that. Patty Jenkins, director of the Wonder Woman movies. was supposed to direct Rogue Squadron, one of the spin-off Star Wars movies.
All right.
That's been indefinitely delayed. Most people think it's because Patty Jenkins is going to go off and do Wonder Woman 3 first. I think it's because the Star Wars people sat down and watched Wonder Woman 84 and went, "Holy shit, this sucks. We hired her." No.
All right.
She did what now? Oh, fuck no. Get us out of that.
Oops, our bad.
Although, to be fair to Patty Jenkins, the first Wonder Woman movie was fantastic. The second one was just a pile of garbage.
Wow. That's hard
What
to
else?
believe.
What else has she done?
I don't Monster, I think. I don't know. She's done a few other things. I mean, she's not a bad director. It just, I mean, most people seem to think you're only as good as your last movie. Well, if that's true, her last movie was. But I mean, I just watched. Have you guys watched that Movies That Made Us on Netflix yet?
I've seen like some of them.
No, I haven't checked it out yet.
Oh, okay, because I watched a couple of them yesterday just because I wanted to watch something. I watched the one on Back to the Future. I don't know. Is that one of the ones that you watched?
I did not see that one.
Okay. I don't know how you two feel about those three movies, but those three movies are some of my all-time favorites. I mean, I love the Back to the Future franchise. So it was fascinating to finally see some of the behind-the-scenes stories on like where Eric Stoltz was almost Marty McFly instead of Michael J. Fox. But they talked about how hard it was for Robert Zemeckis and Bob Gale to get the movie made because the first couple movies they made were bombs, and everybody was like, "They're terrible." And it's so hard to think of Robert Zemeckis, the guy who directed Back to the Futures 1, 2, and 3, and Forrest Gump, and several other movies, as a guy that Hollywood would be like, yeah, I don't know about you, buddy. Like, you're just, ugh.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody has a streak at some point where, I mean, even Spielberg's directed a couple clunkers,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a director alive who hasn't put one movie out where people were like, really?
Everyone has an off day.
So it's okay, Patty.
Yeah.
We forgive you for laying that egg. Hopefully Wonder Woman 3 is better.
Hopefully, because the second one was awful. But speaking of the movies that made us, did you watch the one on Elf?
I think I did at some point. Yeah.
That one was really fun to learn that there is at one point where studios were like, Will Ferrell's not a bankable star.
Yeah.
What, really? But I learned that the shots of Will Ferrell in the room with the elves wasn't like CGI. It was what they called forced perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So like they had him in the front, like closer to the camera, and everybody else like 10 feet behind. So
yeah.
like it might have looked like they were acting with each other, but they were really like. That was really fascinating to go like, wait, they didn't just have like two different sets, like.
Yeah.
'Cause that's what I thought. Like
Yeah, it's a cool trick.
But
there was social distancing back then.
Well, the elves weren't. Will Ferrell was.
Yeah.
Who then this isn't synchronicity because I watched it basically because I had heard the story. Apparently turned $29 million down to do Elf 2.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Didn't he say this? The script just sucked. Didn't you hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But $29 million.
Yeah.
The script would have to be god awful.
Yeah.
For me to be like, yeah, I'm gonna turn $29 million down. Or I'd have to be in Will Ferrell's shoes where like I have just already been printing money on Talladega Nights and Step Brothers and all those other movies. Although he turned Elf 2 down, but did Holmes and Watson.
Well, I didn't see that. Is it really bad?
From what I understand, it's awful. I only watched a couple minutes of it and just didn't want to keep watching it. So
I say it does have its moments where it's got that like old Will Ferrell, John C. Riley feel to it, but yeah, it's few and far between with those moments in that movie.
That's too bad.
Yeah. Oh, but well, okay. And the one that I did see would be Daddy's Home 2.
Oh,
Like Daddy's Home is okay. Like it's got moments, it's kind of fun. But the second one is now, all right. Grown Ups 1, fun, great movie, a lot of good stuff happening. Grown Ups 2 is an abomination. Daddy's Home 1, it's fun, it's harmless, it's not a great movie, but there's some decent stuff that happens in it. The second one, an abomination.
yeah, I
So,
think I saw the second one in theaters.
really?
Yeah, luckily that's when Movie Pass was still a thing,
Ah,
where they had that monthly subscription where you pay so much and you could see one movie a day for once a month or whatever it was.
did you
So-
still ask for your money back?
No, I didn't. I think I went and seen that when I think Christy was getting her hair done or something for her birthday. So I was like, well, I got some time to kill, so I went and saw the movie.
I can't remember if we rented it on Redbox or we waited for it to stream, but we finally watched it, and we were like, oh God. I mean, because the first one has its moments. I mean, it also has its moments where like Will Ferrell's on the motorcycle, and like it like takes off on him, and he ends up like halfway up a wall and halfway through the. I mean, it's just bad. I mean, that part is bad. The graphics are bad. The whole like motorcycles don't act that way bad, but yeah, it is what it is.
I don't know.
Will-
I've never
Will
seen
Ferrell's
either of
another-
them.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe we'll have to get Justin to do a Will Ferrell bracket for us.
That'd be awesome.
I've seen enough of his stuff.
I
Yeah,
mean,
that would be a fun one to do, actually.
All
yeah.
right. Mental
I
note.
mean, I would like to say good on you, Will Ferrell, for having the artistic integrity to turn down $29 million for Elf 2,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Not-
did Daddy's Home 2,
Yeah.
Holmes and Watson, and a couple other movies that you're like, wait, really?
Yeah,
So,
true.
hey, your favorite person.
Oh.
Everybody's favorite nut job, or our new favorite, either one of you, but mainly I'm looking mainly to my left, which for me is Jeremy, because you're down below again, Justin.
All right. In the gutter.
But pop culture roulette's new favorite nutbag is back in the news.
You'll have to be more specific. We have a lot of favorite nut bags.
Well, it's our new favorite nut bag.
Our new favorite nut bag. Okay.
Yeah. So Demi Lovato.
That's right. Yeah.
Is now a sponsor, or has been a paid advertiser for a website called We Are Gaia.
Okay.
Gaia being the Earth goddess, which is a conspiracy streaming video service. It's Netflix for conspiracy theories.
Are you serious? Is it like fun conspiracies, or is it like
this is
political shit?
crazy. I'm guessing it's all of it. I mean,
okay.
I didn't spend a lot of time there.
You're gonna end up on a list for even searching this out.
We Are Gaia, Gaia. The Earth goddess Gaia.
Okay.
Those of you who watch Captain Planet probably are aware of her. But yeah, no, these are the crazy, like the Earth is flat people, the reptilian people, the like you name, like the people who were probably like, well, if Demi Lovato said the aliens are offended by being called aliens, she's right. We should only call them extraterrestrials or ETs or some garbage.
What?
Wait, I thought we talked about that.
No.
One. Did we miss that story? Oh, yes. She's determined that calling aliens, not people from another country,
Mm-hmm.
creatures from another planet, another universe, are offended if we call them aliens. We should only call them extraterrestrials or ETs.
How does she know that? Has she spoken to some of them?
I think she thinks she has.
She's probably just experiencing some deep sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Or she's not sober anymore. One of the two.
Or that. Or she's a really good troll.
Yeah, maybe.
But it does seem pretty legit that she actually does feel these things.
Yeah, I mean, it just, like you want to think, like, every so often celebrities will say something crazy and kooky, and you're just like, oh, and then you're like, okay, they're just promoting a movie, or they're just, having fun because, being famous gets boring, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
But Demi Lovato seems to actually be nuts. Like,
Yeah. I think you're right. There's been a lot of instances that would point to that.
like we had fun with Gwyneth Paltrow for a while, who might have also actually been nuts.
Yeah. Is she still up to some nonsense? Does she still do crazy things?
Probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
she still makes the vagina candles.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if Goop does near the level of damage that it used to. I think most people are kind of like, oh, sticking rocks up my vagina? Yeah, that's not the best idea.
I'm not doing that.
Candles
What could
that
go
smell,
wrong?
candles that smell like pussy. Yeah, I'm good. I don't.
Thanks.
I don't need those. I'm gonna. Yeah, what was Demi Lovato doing?
Yeah, our new favorite nutbag. We've moved on.
Yeah, she has to step her game up if she wants
Gwyneth
to
is like,
be a
no,
nutbag again.
those are my people. I'm the nutbag.
Yeah,
Hey,
she's definitely got to do more.
Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll team up.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
They can make a documentary about one another's business, and then it can stream on that site.
Yeah,
and there's
Nutbaggery.
And then they can also team up with Britney. Who I think we're just any day now. I mean, probably not any day now, but in a couple months, any day now, we're going to be back to that level of like driving erratically and shaving your head in public. And, because I mean, there's a reason that she was put into a conservatorship, and it wasn't because, she was perfectly sane and capable of taking care of her own kids and finances.
Oh, so you're on the side of the people, her captives.
I don't necessarily believe they were captives. I mean, I don't know. And maybe she has cleaned up and had the medical help that she needed, but I honestly believe that had she not been, locked down and put into a conservatorship, she'd be dead. We would not have Britney Spears alive today if, some hardline stuff didn't happen.
Sure.
She was heading down that path of complete destruction. It would have been a drug overdose or, something, I'm honestly surprised Lindsay Lohan didn't like beat her to the punch after they put her in conservatorship, but
you gotta protect some people from themselves.
right. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, maybe at some point, after she had gotten the medical treatment and maybe the mental well-being that, she needed to come across, that, maybe they should have let her out of the conservatorship a long time ago. I don't know. But sane, normal people don't post the types of videos that she posts on Instagram. Like,
what's an example? I don't really know much about this whole thing.
She loves to post videos of her dancing topless but covered.
Okay.
Are just spouting off like crazy things like, now that I'm free, people are gonna pay, all the truth is gonna come out. And it's just like, okay, all right, yeah. I mean, that doesn't prove to me that you're like you're sane. Like, I mean, some of the, like in the middle of the trial, like she's getting on Instagram and posting things that you're just like, honestly, if I'm the judge, I'm like, you've just proven to me that you're not capable of taking care of yourself. But hey, whatever. I mean, this is what the people wanted. They wanted Britney free, like,
Yeah, maybe someone should have spoken to her and said, like, "Okay, cool off on this social media for a little bit."
right, yeah. Do you? It was one of the last seasons or so of South Park that I watched with any regularity when like the town of South Park had to like the kids were trying to save Britney because the town was like going to sacrifice her to like keep the demons at bay or something.
Yeah,
Okay, do you remember that
I
one?
remember that. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm not. That's not too far off. I mean, I think it's like, we lost our chance like 13 years ago. Now she's free again. Now we can finally get this sacrifice back on the road. Like we want her free because we want the craziness. We want the
Yeah.
media wanted her free because they want her to be out there doing great, not wearing underwear and running around in a dress.
Right. They don't give a fuck about her well-being at all.
No, they don't care about her or her kids.
The only
They-
one
they-
whoever cared was that guy who posted that viral video.
Leave Britney alone.
Oh, is it Chris Crocker? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Wow. The fact that you remembered his name is kind of
I have useless
amazing.
knowledge. Is that it? Is that his name? I'm
I
pretty
think
sure that was it.
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, I'm pretty sure that's. Now this one, I don't know if you guys heard this bit of news. I was kind of excited about it. Have you heard about a new horror comedy coming our way next February?
No, why don't you tell us about it?
It's called Studio 666,
Yeah, okay, I did hear
Okay.
about that.
featuring one of our favorite bands, the Foo Fighters.
Heck
So,
yeah.
I went on a little bit of a rabbit hole because it made me think,
That's what you do.
Yeah, that is true. It made me think, it's been a long time since, at least in my head anyway, since they've done a movie like a fictional movie centered around a real band.
Mhm.
So I was like, I hit up the internets
Oh
and
boy.
I wrote down a bunch of movies that used to be, apparently it used to be quite the thing.
Hmm.
And they don't really seem to make them too much anymore. I mean, you've got Tenacious D, The Pick of Destiny,
Sure.
Rock and Roll High School with the Ramones.
Okay. Yeah.
Now there was a bunch of movies I left off because I tried not to include musicals. So like Across the Universe, that movie they made about the Beatles, it wasn't about the Beatles, but it used Beatles music.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really include that because like I see that as more, that's a different type of movie. So like this is Spinal Tap,
Mm-hmm.
which
All right.
have either of you seen that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Majority of it.
But then you get into like the Beatles with A Hard Day's Night, Help, Magical Mystery Tour, and Yellow Submarine.
Right.
Like they did a bunch of them. The Monkees did their TV series as well as a movie called Head, which I haven't seen, but I've heard is like super trippy,
Okay.
like kind of crazy out there.
Sweet.
There was a movie in 1980 called Rude Boy that featured the Clash. Now, according to what I was able to read, Rock Around the Clock in 1956 was the first rock and roll film. Like they featured Bill Haley in the comments as like, actors, or wasn't about like them. They were just like part of it.
Okay.
That's just the first. That's what I kept reading. I'm not gonna put my reputation on like this is the first one, because I also did not include on any of this on this list, any of the Elvis movies, because if memory serves, Elvis wasn't Elvis in any of the movies. He was always just a guy who was also maybe a singer, or
Singer.
maybe not even a singer. Like
What a stretch.
yeah, but like I know he did a lot of movies, but it wasn't like, so I didn't really necessarily include our movies like Dreamgirls where Beyonce was, an actress because she wasn't playing herself.
Mhm.
I did, however, include Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
All right.
Okay.
ABBA the movie, which apparently is a highly fictionalized version of ABBA doing some stuff.
So
I
weird.
did I did put Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which is a Beatles album, but the movie had Peter Frampton, the Bee Gees, Aerosmith, Alice Cooper, and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Oh my God.
That's just like those were like the main roles. Like the cameo list of that movie is insane. One of these days, maybe I should watch it. I did. I wondered about Purple Rain or Graffiti Bridge because I don't know if Prince was playing Prince in either of those movies. I've never actually seen them.
Yeah, me neither.
But and then I guess Metallica did one a couple years ago called Through the Never.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I somehow never got around to seeing.
Was that like a concert film with like a plot in it?
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah.
it was. It was like, they hired an actor to like be like he was like a roadie that was on a quest and they were, so I don't know. But yeah, so there's kind of a long history of rock bands doing movies.
They've done a couple TV shows too where they appear. Like I know like Korn and stuff has done Scooby Doo
Oh yeah.
and things like that. Not even just movies, just like episodes of cartoons or animated stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and I also didn't necessarily include like the time that like a band showed up on an episode of like when Hootie and the Blowfish did one episode of Friends, like because that wasn't necessarily what I was getting to, like because they were just playing themselves, like not that I don't know. I was very selective with the list, and now I don't because this was like a week ago that I did this, so now I don't necessarily remember why I put the list together. But it made me think when I saw that Foo Fighters were doing a movie where they were playing themselves about making this last movie that this last album that they did, but like not themselves, like because there's some. Wish I could remember the name. Some of the bigger name. I think was it Will Forte or Will Arnett. We're gonna be in it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. I mean, it's gonna be cheesy as all get out, but
Yeah.
because the Foo Fighters do put out really good, fun music videos.
Yeah.
But I don't know the level of acting chops that Dave Grohl or Taylor Hawkins has.
Yeah.
I think Dave Grohl could probably do it. I don't know about the rest of the band.
Or Pat Schmier. Like, I don't know what they're acting. I mean, because it's one thing to ham it up and be a cheeseball in a 3-minute music video, but it's another thing for a hour and a half movie.
Yeah, for sure.
So okay, well then, I expected this to take a lot longer.
Oh well, what can we say?
Yeah, we got the pre-Thanksgiving just lull going on.
Yeah.
Trying to get ready for Thanksgiving, trying to start getting ready for Christmas. And then, if we want to acknowledge real life events, having, a car plow or having a SUV plow through the Christmas parade up in Waukesha, like,
yeah, that's a mood killer.
Right before we go to record, just kind of zapped any energy that I had out of the room. It's like,
yeah,
because
I came in with zero energy.
Like
the room started out with nothing.
Yeah.
And somehow there's negative now.
Yeah. So anyway, what do you guys got now that we've really brought the energy back down?
Well,
anything happened in the last 2 weeks that I maybe didn't get down on the list?
I know we got that new Resident Evil movie coming out this week. Whenever you listen to this, I don't remember what day. I think 26th maybe. So I'll check that out. See how that is.
Is that a reboot?
I think it's Welcome to Raccoon City. So it's its own little.
Oh,
It doesn't involve Mila Jovovich or any of those people.
They use some of the characters. Like I think they're bringing back Chris Redfield, but he's going to be a different actor, and Alice isn't part of it, as she shouldn't be because she's not in any of the games.
So basically, when Jeremy said, "Is it a reboot?" the answer is
I don't know.
yes.
I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't know if they're going to acknowledge any of the stuff from the previous ones.
they shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
should
But
just-
I have no idea what they're going to be doing.
Well, that's cool. I'm interested in that. I'd like to check that out.
Well, I tell you what, on Friday, I'm gonna go see the Ghostbusters movie
Nice.
because I have heard nothing but good reviews on that. So
It kind of
I-
seems like movies are just coming out right now at like a manic pace, unless it's just always been this way, and I just started noticing now. But
I think the studios are trying to catch up from not really, because I mean, Ghostbusters Afterlife was supposed to come out back in June.
yeah.
You know, Eternals was supposed to come out last year. You know, there's a few other movies that are coming out now that they're just kind of bunched up together. That, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
I
good
mean,
point.
they're trying to catch up right now. Like they're just
Right.
like, did either of you watch Red Notice?
No.
No, it's on the list. I wanted to check that out. I just watched that other. Is it Hit Monkey?
Oh, did that actually?
Is that what it's called? That Hulu?
Yeah,
One.
when did that come out?
Within the last like probably 3-4 days.
Okay, because I was
I
watching
think.
something on Hulu last night and they had a commercial for it, but I thought they made it sound like it wasn't coming out for a couple days. You would think that would show up on my feed, but
It's
I'm-
already
I-
it's already released. I think it's like 10 episodes or something like that. It's the first
Just-
season.
because I love Hitmonkey. Like he is such a fun character. Like I have a bunch of Hitmonkey comics. Like, I mean, it's such a stupid it's such a stupid concept. I mean, it is an assassin monkey, not a capuchin, but
I don't remember the
I
type of
don't know.
monkey.
it's a Japanese monkey. You know those Japanese monkeys that hang out in the water?
Yeah, they hang out in like those hot springs.
Oh,
Yeah, that hang out
okay.
in the hot spring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, and his family gets killed, and he decides somehow he gets imbued with some power, so he decides that he's gonna take out all the bad guys, so he becomes a hitman, and like he's like a monkey version of the Punisher,
Okay.
but he has the spirit of an actual hitman, like kind of haunting him and like helping him along the way. And I think it's Jason Sudeikis.
Yep.
Yeah, Jason. And for the show, it's but like the Hitmonkey, like I have a bunch of Hitmonkey comic books. They are because the thing about it is that Hitmonkey doesn't talk. Like it's not like it's a talking monkey. Like it's just a straight up monkey in a
He
in a
monkey
suit.
talks.
Well, I mean, yeah, he does monkey talk.
Yeah, he ooh and ahs and screams. I think it's.
Yeah.
I know Jason Sudeikis. I think Olivia Munn, George Takei. I think those are the main three I can remember off the top of my head that are in it.
Because I just burned through 9 seasons of Letterkenny.
Yeah, I think we went through the first season of Hitmonkey in like 2 days.
Okay, I will. That's what I'm watching this week. I have a new series to stream. I thoroughly enjoyed Letterkenny, Jeremy.
Okay.
So I think you would love it. I mean,
All right.
The first there's an episode like 2 or 3 episodes in that's a little rough to get through because it's just kind of like, but like as you get into the series a little bit more, like it when they start to flesh the characters out, like the first couple episodes are a little rough, but once it gets towards the end of the first season, beginning of the second season, it really picks up. They're only like 6 or 7 episodes a season,
Oh, okay.
and it's a half-hour show, so it's real easy to burn through.
All right, sweet. I'll check that out. I learn on a weekly basis that I definitely need to start consuming more pop culture because every
watch more TV.
yeah.
But I recommend Red Notice. I thought Red Notice was a lot of fun. I mean, I definitely understood why it went to Netflix instead of the big screen. Although when I went to see Eternals today, they did have a screening or two of Red Notice, and all I could think is, why would I spend money to come see Red Notice on the big screen when I can just watch it on Netflix? Because even if I didn't have a subscription to Netflix,
Yeah.
I mean, I would just what is it up to? Like $11.99 or $14.99 a month
I
now?
think it's like $14.99. Yeah.
It's still cheaper just to get a month, go buy a month rental card at Walmart for Redbox,
Mhm.
go home and watch it, once on, and then you got a month of other stuff you can watch. It's way cheaper than going to see it in the theater.
Yeah, we look like a bunch of suckers or something to them.
Unless someone wants to rent out a theater.
Yeah,
that is true.
There's that.
Yeah, but I thought it was fun. It was enjoyable. I mean, it was The Rock and Ryan Reynolds doing what they both do best. I mean,
who's the other one in it? Is it Salma Hayek?
no, Gal Gadot.
Oh, Jeremy's in.
I mean, it's a fun movie. Don't expect it to hurt your brain trying to figure it out. It's not.
Perfect.
It's not a brain twister.
I enjoy those movies where you can just go brain neutral.
Yeah.
I really like.
I mean, but it's fun. I mean, it's fun. It's not. It's worth watching. It's worth watching at least once.
Do you believe that the world is ever going to get sick of The Rock?
I mean, I feel like the Batman line is applicable here.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just live long enough to become the villain.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Chris Pratt. I mean, there was a point in Chris Pratt's career after he went from being a nobody to somebody where everybody loved Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt was the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
And then remember what we were talking about the last time we talked about Chris Pratt.
Mm-hmm.
He puts out an innocuous statement about how much he loves his wife and his daughter, and everybody immediately turns around and turns it on him. So I mean, it's just a matter of time before they turn on The Rock.
Yeah.
Or they turn on Ryan Reynolds.
But I feel like those people that turned on Chris Pratt, those same fools are gonna go see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and love it.
Oh yeah,
and they'll forget all about those
for sure.
Yeah. But I guess you're right. Eventually, the world turns on us all.
I mean, you just
look forward to that day when we become popular enough that everyone hates on us.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, let's say I'm thinking of Robin Williams. Robin Williams was really, really popular. There was a period in his career where people kind of turned on him, and then he turned it back around and was definitely on the way up when unfortunately he passed away.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, now he's now he's been sainted, so now we can't say anything bad about him. But
yeah.
So I mean, I think everybody there's I'm sure that people are going to turn on The Rock at some point, and then he'll hit a rough patch of his career where a couple movies bomb, and and then he'll finally turn it back around after a couple years, and everybody will love him again.
Can you think of any movies off the top of your head that might have been a bomb so far for him?
Game Plan.
Tooth Fairy.
Yeah. Unless they did well with the audiences they were intended for.
They did well with the audience they were intended with. Okay. No, I would say Faster was a bit of a bomb for him.
Must have been. I haven't even heard of it.
It was the one. I mean, I think he did it after he joined the Fast and Furious series, but like he owns a trucking service, and his son somehow gets involved in drugs, and like he's got to use his semi trucks to. It's not good. It's not.
It's like over
it's
the
not,
top.
Yeah, kind of, but not with much less rhinestones. Arm wrestling.
Yeah. Was he actually trying to be serious in that one? Like, is there?
Yeah. Every so often he tries to be serious.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then Disney shoves a fat check in his face, and he's like, "All right, I'm done trying to be serious."
Go be a goofball.
Yeah. I watched most of Jungle Cruise. I need to sit down and watch it again. It was enjoyable. I mean, it was every bit as silly as I expected it to be. But like, I was over at the in-laws' house and they turned it on like after dinner, and I was like, oh, we're gonna. Woke up, watched it, and then I was like, okay, I don't know. Oh, woke up and finished it. So like, there's chunks of the movie that's missing for me.
Gotcha.
It's a choose your own adventure movie.
Yeah, fill it in yourself.
But I'm still waiting to hear back from the sleep apnea doctors because I don't have that machine yet. So in fact, that reminds me, I need to call them tomorrow because like I need that stupid machine.
Yeah.
I am down. I was, it fluctuates, but it was getting close to 40 that I was down, and then I had a bad couple days, so it probably is back up a little bit. But I'm still to the point where like I need to probably order new pants at work because like they're really loose, and I need to either cut holes in the belt again or get a new belt because like I'm having to like fold the tops of my pants over.
Awesome.
Time to just start showing that crack.
Well, I mean, that's every day anyway. I mean, that's the life of a fat guy.
That's the life of every guy.
Yeah. They don't make clothes for fat people. They just somehow think we're all shaped the same.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I mean, it is what it is. I'm definitely heading in the right direction.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, man.
So
right on.
So
yeah, the first one of the podcast.
All right, well then I guess if there's nothing else, I guess we'll.
Well, Adele did have that one little story.
I missed an Adele story.
Okay, it's a quick one. She got on Spotify's case to have them remove the shuffle button because, as an artist, she feels that people should listen to the album straight through while listening to him. So, I agree, but at the same time, it's just like, don't remove the button. Don't have to go crazy about it.
Well, yeah, you don't have to remove the button. You should give that the button should be there if you choose to.
Yeah.
What annoys me is like if I want to sit and listen to an album, I don't want this because I don't pay for Spotify Premium.
Mm-hmm.
Anything I try to listen to on Spotify is automatically shuffled.
Yes. So, but now with this Adele thing, it seems that they've changed that. They did reach a compromise, and the default is play where it's supposed to, and they have the option now to toggle shuffle on. So,
okay, that's
Adele
nice.
was the squeaky wheel, and she made some moves. So
they reached an agreement and just kicked her off completely.
Shut up! You're out of here.
But all right, so I very rarely use Spotify for music. Because I just use it for podcast. I mean, Spotify for music it might be great, but for podcast
it's awful.
It is the worst app.
Mm-hmm.
But on some of the podcasts I listen to, when it's done, instead of just picking the next podcast on my list, it'll start playing music.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, the people who do the Spotify playlist do not pay attention to what you listen to or the kinds of podcasts that I download because they really like the music they try to play like instead of my next podcast is awful. It is just garbage music that I don't want to listen to. Like it's not. I mean, I know people people are allowed to listen to whatever they want to listen to, and if you're in to whoever the fuck Dua Lipa is, feel free, listen to it all you want.
I don't know. I've never heard of that one.
But I don't want it on my. I don't want to listen to it. I mean, for me personally, it sucks.
We should have played a round of modern artists versus old millennials. Well,
Hey, I am not a millennial. You don't put me in that category.
Gotta choose the name.
I am Gen X.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Modern artists versus Gen X and one millennial. So that just it picked it because it thought you'd like it based on your podcast that you listened to?
I can't imagine that based off the podcast I listened to, it's picking music, the music that it because it's not Dua Lipa isn't the only thing that it picks. Like it always maybe it's some sort of like top 40 like default, I don't know, but like the music that it picks is just awful. It's just one time it picked that stupid Fancy Like song. You know that god awful Fancy Like Applebee's song?
No.
Oh, do yourself a little disservice when we're done here.
Okay.
Look up something called Fancy Like. They use it in the commercials on football. It's the chorus is "We fancy like Applebee's on a date night." Blah blah blah. It's this awful country song.
Oh.
Right. Why don't you sing us a couple verses?
But unfortunately, because my boss likes country music, the main radio in the store listens to country music all the time, and the country music station here in Milwaukee is like they play the same 6 songs like in a row and just on loop, like. So like I have been tortured with that song a lot. There's a couple other country songs, but like it is just the banal garbage that Spotify picks to try to play for me when it's like, first off, I want to listen to another podcast. I don't want to listen to music. That's
right.
why, but secondly, like when I have listened to music on Spotify, it's never been this. I've used it because like I don't try to, because I know I can't listen to an album straight, so I'll use it to like pick a playlist that if they shuffle it doesn't matter because who cares? I mean, it's a playlist. So like hardcore 70s punk playlist or 90s alternative grunge, like stuff like that. Like nothing that it plays for me. I cannot wait to delete that app in February.
Wow. That's crazy. I don't know why their algorithm sucks so bad. I've had pretty good experience with the audio side of that for music. Maybe just because I am premium, but like I get daily mixes and they're always pretty accurate.
And maybe you use it for music more than I do, and
Yeah.
that's why like it. Since I don't, they're just like, well, he likes to listen to podcasts about murder and cults and paranormal. Surely he wants to listen to
some garbage country.
Yeah.
I felt really old a couple weeks ago. I was on YouTube looking for something, and it has the categories on YouTube, and one of the categories was trending music, and I was like, never heard of it, never heard of it, never heard of it, never heard of it, never heard of it. Oh, I've heard of that guy. He just killed 10 people. Never heard of it, never heard of it, never heard of it. What's his name? The Astro World guy.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's fucked up. I went down a really bad rabbit hole after learning about that news story. I watched the Great White Fire video, and I'm like, why the fuck did I watch that? That is haunting. Don't watch that if you haven't.
No, I've never. I didn't know there was a video for it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, I'm gonna be haunted by watching that SUV running over people.
Yeah.
At least at this point, I don't know how many people have died, so I can in my head say, well, there might be some broken broken limbs or a concussion or two, but they're all alive.
Mm-hmm.
That Great White video, I know how many people. Well, I don't remember the exact number, but I know a lot of people died.
It was like 100 or something.
Yeah,
it was a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucked up. Anyways, what a downer.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go out on a low note.
Have fun figuring out a title for this episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So I guess. Oh, let's talk about one more thing, and then we'll get out of here.
Okay.
Pete Davidson.
Mm-hmm.
What a legend.
Was that sarcastic?
I don't know how he does it.
I don't get it.
He was dating Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande.
Okay.
Then he was dating Kate Beckinsale,
Yep.
Wow.
and now he's dating Kim Kardashian.
Legend.
Unbelievable. Okay, now I see.
And I feel like there's somebody in between Ariana Grande and Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, probably.
I guess it really helps to be funny.
Yeah.
Because he's not, in my eyes, an attractive man.
No. He's like, I don't know.
And I mean, I've got no problem with tattoos. I have one myself.
Mm-hmm.
But he has like all the tattoos. I know he's getting them removed, but still, like he's covered in them. Did we lose Justin?
Yeah, it looks like he froze up there. Justin. Oh.
Okay. Well, we seem to be losing Justin, but yeah. So anyway, yeah.
That's
I
fine.
don't know. I don't know if the man just has a baby's arm hanging off of an apple,
Yeah.
or because he's a comedian on Saturday Night Live. I don't know what he's got going for him, but yeah, I don't get it. I don't understand. I don't.
He's got Spanish fly.
He's got something. I don't.
Is he our hero of the week?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we can. I mean, I guess for lack of a better one, but I'm not sure. I'm willing to label him hero of the week, but if you two want to label him that way, I don't.
I'll give it to him.
Okay.
I don't have anyone else better to give it to. So, well, actually, wait a minute. I do, even though I talked about him in my podcast this week. AJ Brown.
Okay.
He's my hero of the week.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did talk about him very briefly on your podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true.
Platform for a good cause.
We need more people like him to talk about mental health, so that maybe people can start taking it more seriously.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, then I guess because we've now lost Justin again. If you find yourself sponsoring a conspiracy theory website or somehow, let me look at my notes real fast here. Claiming that your movie is causing people to faint in the theaters, just remember, stupid never walks alone.
Booyah.